What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a Happy New Year coming up in 2020. Today we have another install video for you. I have been waiting a very long time for this, and especially with these 38s, it's about time that we put a rear tire carrier on this Jeep. Here you can see we have a little bit of a spacer here. This is it's a rough country spacer, just to get it up and out a little bit away from the tailgate. But as you can see over on this side, maybe you can't really tell, but the body on the top has started to not separate, but it's not lined up perfectly anymore, at least at the top, because you know this thing's weighing it down so much. So we're gonna be fixing that today, installing the Road Armor rear tire carrier, and as you can tell, you guys probably recognize where I'm at right now. We are at Ryan's house. Hopefully he'll come out soon and help me out with this. We have my brother on the way as well. But as of right now, here are all the parts for this swing gate. You can see this is the actual spindle here. This will attach to the frame. That'll attach to the spindle. That's what's gonna carry my tire. And as well as like some license plate mounts, the camera mount, other kind of nuts and bolts and different measuring tools. But we're gonna go ahead, jump right in and get to work on this tire carrier, because every time I hit a bump with this tire carrier, it just shakes and rattles, and it's just, this is way too heavy for this tailgate. Well, Steve just arrived. Ryan's heading out, but Steve just arrived.
What's up, y'all?
Just in time to realize that we don't have a hole saw per the instructions. So we're gonna run back to his place, grab a hole saw, and then continue working. So 2 hours later and a nice meal. We finally are back working on the Jeep. We have all necessary tools, or at least as much as we think we need. So we're just gonna start drilling holes, and oh, there goes the instructions. First thing is we're gonna line this here template up to like the outside. You're supposed to put it on the outside of this body line here, and this is where we're gonna drill somewhere like right there. This is where we're gonna drill the hole for where the pinion is gonna come up through the bumper. So this is, yeah.
All right. Make sure that's right. Cool. Here, let's make sure it's all right. This drill bit's horrible. All right.
Yeah, this thing looks like shit. It's all rusted. You want some sand from Daytona?
I got that.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's that nice Florida sand.
Mm.
Yeah, we gotta take the camera out, which is just these Torques on the back, and I think maybe there isn't anything on the back here, but yeah, we just gotta take these little guys out. Ryan kind of pointed this trick out to me here. Underneath in the instructions it tells you to kind of notch, let's see if you can see there, notch this out, this hole here, so that way you can fit a socket up in there. He actually just got a little stubby socket and he dropped it into this hole, and then we just have an extension here. So just a neat little trick, that way you guys don't have to cut open this cross member here, and then you can just drop this stuff on top.
Nice, good thinking, right?
My only fear is that the socket isn't deep enough.
There you go. Where's the...
Nut.
Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, man.
This is a hoodie, a hat, and this. There you go.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Bottle opener and a hat. I'll put that in your Jeep.
Is this pre-release footage?
Yeah.
This is pre-release.
Pre-release. Nobody knows about these.
Nobody knows about these, and nobody's gonna know about them because nobody watches my channel. So.
But yeah, these are actually like your bottle openers inside. Don't forget about that. But
Oh
it's
yeah.
Like, they're like super soft. My head's kind of big, so it's like, like on Katie's head, it looks like a dope hat. On my head, it kind of looks like
I got a big
skull cap.
I got a big head too, so it's like that's not gonna help.
It's like super soft though.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, and that's the hoodie.
This is Steve's hoodie, and then I got him a hat. And
Coming soon, someday maybe, if he makes a website and puts it up. And
I need to do inventory and stuff this weekend and get it all going because I have everything I kind of want to go, but I want to order like hats and stuff. But that's kind of like a springtime thing.
yeah,
You gotta take that.
I gotta take this one off.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
hitting.
let's see. Was that running?
Here,
That guy's hitting.
For why?
Right there.
it's in
Well, I
here.
mean, it's hitting, but like it doesn't reach.
This has to go here.
Yeah, this isn't. This
What
is
is-
like the little slot.
The isolator.
So it's not all the way against.
Well, actually, no, it won't help.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. then
You
gotta
don't
take
have.
that off.
You don't even have. You could just take off the front half of this for now.
That's true. Yeah, because I am replacing these. Speedpole sent me new mounts, so I have to.
Yo, take
do
that off,
those.
and I gotta respace this.
I know it looks like I'm making you do most of the work, but it's just because every time I pick up the camera, you're the one finishing stuff.
Doing something?
I was working on getting the camera out of the old piece and into the new piece, so that was a little pain in the dick. This seems like the most complicated piece, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay, what's up guys? It's been like 3, maybe 4 weeks since I installed this swing arm here. You guys can see we finally had it all finished up. Kind of wanted to give it a couple of weeks to kind of finish up this review because I really wanted to, you know, kind of run through how well it actually worked, if there's any noise, anything like that. And I just want to tell you guys that this thing is, and I'm being completely honest, this thing is absolutely amazing for is actually pretty easy to install. There was a lot of moving parts that, you know, my brother helped me out with. Obviously the actual tire carrier part was pretty heavy. I had to hold it up while he was actually attaching like the pinion arm and all this kind of stuff. But other than that, is fairly straightforward. The instructions were pretty easy. Literally 15 minutes after we installed it and I was driving on the road, I called my brother who helped me install it, and I was blown away because I'm like, dude, this thing is quiet. What do I mean by quiet is obviously you guys knew that I was running my spare tire off of the, you know, basically the factory mount here, and because of how heavy this 38 is with the 20-inch wheel, every time I hit a bump it would flex this back tailgate and it would just rattle and shake, and you know, it obviously that's a heavy tire to have on that tailgate. But after installing this back end is so quiet when I'm driving down the road. I can hit any bump, anything like that, and it does not rattle, it does not shake, it doesn't do anything. Such a big difference that I immediately noticed it. So like, that was incredible. So let me show you guys real quick how this opens. Clearly a lot of like swing gates here, they attach, they usually have like a second attachment point on the other side of the bumper. You kind of lift that up, swing the tire out, and then you swing the tailgate out here. But not the case with the Road Armor rear tire carrier. They integrated it here so that way it all swings in one motion. You can see how this tire carrier kind of adjusts because of where the angle is here. So when you swing it, it also, this is probably a better angle. You can see how it kind of moves out a little bit. So now the tire is like past where the door is, and if I push it in, you can see you have enough space here to grab your handle. It's super easy to open. Honestly, for as heavy as this tire was on the back tailgate here, I had trouble opening this tailgate quite a few times actually. Even my wife, when she goes to open this, it's almost like she has to throw her whole body in it. But with this new tire carrier, it takes a lot of the weight of this tire and puts it down through this like rotation point into the frame, which you guys saw us mount. Basically all the weight here is going down toward the frame. It is attached right here as well, but this is kind of, you know, it helps out carry some of the load, but also this is the part that you can see adjusts as you swing it open and close. So basically it makes opening this super easy. Actually, matter of fact, Road Armor posted a video on their Instagram a few months ago that they didn't want to release this tire carrier until like pretty much a kid could open it with like a 40 on it. And you could see this kid must have been like 7 or 8 years old. Easy enough for him to just open and close, no problem. And you could see it's not as hard as when this tire was just on my tailgate. Okay, now the few things I do have like small complaints, and this is basically just like my kind of opinion on this. I love that there is a center license plate frame here. Like, I like when Jeeps, you're rolling down the road and instead of having the license plate down here, you have it up there. It kind of, you know, makes everything even. I just like how it's like nice and, you know, tucked up in there. Obviously they also had to do this for a reason, because they needed somewhere to mount the camera. You're wondering why this is something that bothered me. Like I said, I like this look where it has the license plate frame in the center of the spare tire. The way it's mounted is kind of a little tricky. It's on this, like, it's almost adjustable. You can see, you know, it could slide in or out, but the way it's mounted is these two bolts here, and they're kind of hard to get to, obviously because we have the camera down here that's kind of in the way of, you know, us getting up here in the air. And if it had a plate on it, it would be even more, you know, difficult to kind of squeeze your hand around here, or like a wrench or something. So you know, there might be a slightly easier way to mount this. Secondly, obviously you're going to need a license plate light. You can see here, obviously I just did the, you know, little tiny ones that screw into the top, and you know, it shoots straight down. You can see my lights. The license plate frame doesn't come here with any kind of lighting source, so you're gonna have to run extra wires through, you know, pretty much where your camera wires run through the center of your wheel, goes back down into the tailgate, and then you hook it back up. Not that big of an issue. The thing that I kind of don't like about the center mount license plate is the fact that you have to take this off anytime you are rotating your tires, if you do, 5-tire rotation, which you should, or the fact that, if you get a flat and you have to take this off, something like that, you have to remove this license plate frame, which again, if there's a license plate here, could be a little bit difficult. If you end up getting some lights like this or some other kind of light that's like another harness that you're gonna have to make that goes somewhere through here, so that's another thing you have to disconnect. And then obviously your camera you actually have to disconnect as well here, and you have to take all of that stuff off to even take your spare tire off. I just find it a small little tiny bit of a hassle. I hate to complain about this stuff because I love road armor, but I do wish that they made, instead of like a license plate bracket, they also like if you wanted the option to do a license plate bracket or just a camera mount, so maybe just kind of cut this off and move it up to the center here, so it's just the camera mount right here, no license plate frame. I think that would work really well as well. I just wish they kind of had that option, so I might end up having to do something similar to that. So again, that's not Road Armor's fault. That's just something I clearly did not think about before I mounted this. And yeah, so pretty much that's it. The only other thing I want to say about it is the instructions definitely say that you're not supposed to mount anything bigger than a 37 on this tire carrier. Obviously this is a 38. I know that it could hold more weight because it's really sturdy. I've literally climbed up on the tire to get something off my roof, and it was, it was super sturdy. It holds really, really well. And I also like kind of like the branding in here. This is like etched, like laser etched in here, so I kind of like that as well. You also have, forgot to mention, you have these holes here. They sell accessories for this as well, so you can do like, this is for like a high lift jack on the back as well. They have some mounting points, so you could do gas canisters or anything like that. And if I'm being completely honest, one more thing I almost forgot to mention. This is completely transparent. Again, if you have an oversized tire, you really aren't going to be seeing much out of your rear view like mirror anyway, but this mount does move your tire up a little bit, especially if it's a 38. So using your rear view mirror, you're not going to be seeing much out of there. Honestly, the camera kind of picks up a lot more, but because this is so high up, there's nothing that you're gonna see that's up there unless there's a semi truck behind you, but everything that's like below the horizon line, you almost it's hard to see. But again, that's something that you get with an oversized spare tire. But this mount does move that tire up a little bit. It does have a little bit of adjustment, some spots where you can lower it a little bit or raise it a little bit depending on your tire size, but that's totally personal preference. I just wanted to point that out. I mounted it, almost takes up my entire rear window there, and again, that's not Road Armor's fault. That's just obviously something I overlooked. But I think generally that this tire carrier, actually all the pros outweigh the cons. Super easy install. Again, this was separate compared to kind of what I bought. You can buy the bumper and tire carrier in one piece. Actually, I had the bumper for a little while before, so you can actually buy just the tire carrier. You're just gonna have to cut a hole here as you saw, and put the mounting piece on the frame on the bottom there. Really, really easy install, and I think the benefits far outweigh the negatives. Like I said, those are all personal preferences. Like the negatives are all personal preferences, but overall I am really satisfied with the way that all of this Road Armor stuff is turning out. The tire swing gate, or tire carrier, whatever you guys want to call it, turned out amazing. Pretty easy install. My brother and I knocked it out in just a couple of hours. The instructions were clear and straightforward. It looks so much more badass. It makes the cab so much quieter, especially if you're running on just the tailgate. If you have an oversized tire, you're gonna get a lot of rattle and stuff like that. So if you switch to this, like I said, the ride is so much quieter. I honestly want to say that the ride is smoother as well, because you're not getting a lot of that bouncing feedback. And yeah, you're just confident enough that that tire's not going to fall off on the highway. So anyways, that's gonna wrap it up today. I know it's a long video. I apologize that this video took so long to come out, but I did want to get a few weeks behind the wheel with the new swing gate on there, so I can get a honest and full review of how it rides, how easy it is to open, small things that I noticed that bother me. Like I said, can't really use my back window, but again, that's because I oversized spare tire and I may have mounted a little too high, and then obviously the where you want to mount the rear license plate, that's again personal preference, totally up to you. I may try and find a way to make it like a quick disconnect, so that way I don't have to carry like a wrench around with me to like get to those bolts to take them off. But again, all that stuff's totally personal preference. If you guys are interested in getting yourself some road armor stuff, whether it be the fender flares, the front bumper, the rear swing gate, rear bumper, any kind of stuff like that, get down there in the description below. I'll leave it. Mojito 20 gets you 20% off of your order. That's a huge discount, guys. Like, I don't usually get 20% off for my subscribers, so make sure if you guys are interested in road armor, this is the best deal, is 20% off. So Mojito 20 will get you 20% off anything you order from Road Armor. So go nuts, guys. Get yourself stubby front bumper, maybe the one with the stinger on it, maybe some rock sliders. I highly recommend the fender flares. I love these fender flares. So yeah, get down there, guys. Get to roadarmor.com, use Mojito 20, leave this video a big thumbs up, and we will catch you guys in the next one.